Hello, everyone. In financial services, there are some recent or probably in the past decade, we have been noticing some nice innovative products and services which have emerged in the sector of finance and which are truly very useful and practical in nature, and of course specifically crafted for an individual, also for the companies and government. So all these financial services are designed, crafted, handcrafted for each and every person staying in the country. So this presentation on factoring is going to guide us about the importance, benefits, types, and factors to consider while choosing factoring finance. So, firstly, let us understand what is factoring. So, it is not written over here, but basically, factoring involves a person who is known as a factor. Factor is the middleman in the process of factoring. Factor, the factor basically discounts the bills receivable of the company and pays off the whole amount to another person and charges the fees, which is known as the factoring fee. Here we'll see about some of the importance of factoring in finance. So when a company needs urgent cash and when the maturity of the bill date from the debtors is of course at a very later date, and if the company needs immediate finance, they can opt for the function of factoring. So factoring provides the business with immediate cash requirements by selling their accounts receivable, which enables them to cover the expenses and invest in the growth opportunities at the current stage. Growth in factoring is, of course, gaining a lot of momentum by converting all the unpaid invoices into cash. Factoring allows the business to fund their expansion plans. These new launches, products, and services, they reach out their growth, and they are really growing very fast in today's era. Compared to loans and other unsecured liabilities, factoring has a lower risk content because factoring transfer the risk of non-payment to the factor. So protecting the business from bad debts, and ensuring that they receive the payment for their products or services on time. Here is the definition of factoring. I'll be reading it for you all. Factoring is a financial service by where a business sells its accounts receivable to a third party who is known as a factor in exchange of immediate cash. This provides business with working capital without incurring additional debt, because usually bank if he tries to raise funds through banks or other financial institution, he would require to pay a larger amount of fees compared to what a factor charges. So yes, this is better. So there are two type of factoring which are really very common. One is known as the resource factoring and another one is known as the non-resource factoring. Very easy to remember. Firstly, in resource factoring, the business retains responsibility for payment of sold invoices, and the customer defaults, they must buy back the accounts receivable from the factor. On the other hand, we have non-recourse factoring, where in non-recourse factoring, the factor assumes that the credit risk and protects the business from the risk of customers' non-payment. If the customer fails to pay, the factor absorbs the absorption risk and all the losses. There are three benefits, the three major benefits of factoring. The first one, as we discussed earlier, is it improves cash flow in the business, as factoring provides immediate cash to business by helping them bridge the gap between delivering goods or services and receiving payments. On the other hand, we have accelerated growth of business as we see cash inflows are directly related to growth of business. Factoring Factoring allows these opportunities for growing. So hence, they invest in markets, new hires, and expand their facilities to reach their full potential. Number three is reduced risk, as we talked about it in the previous slide. Factoring minimizes the risk of non-payment, assuming the credit risk. The person will not come under the category of bad debt, and hence they'll focus on core operation without worrying about becoming a bad debt. Next slider consists of the factors to consider. When should we choose a factor? So firstly, a person before obtaining anything from a factor would definitely reach out to any person and inquire about these three things, that is fees and the rates what a factor is going to charge. Number two is the customer service which he is going to provide, and number three is the industry experience about that particular person. So while selecting the factor, it is essential to evaluate their fees rate, ensuring they align with your financial goal. Additionally, we prioritize excellent customer service and industry expertise to ensure a smooth and successful partnership between the buyer, seller, and also the factor who acts as a middleman. And finally, to conclude this topic, I would say factoring plays a crucial role in helping business manage their cash flow to accelerate their growth and reduce risks. By understanding these benefits, types, and considering the right factors, business can unlock their true potential and it can be achieved by financial stabilities. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to the lecture.